LXP-LB-US 12K power solutions. We suggest you take a moment to read the user manual before the installation.
Open the wiring box with the key. Spin the built-in screws inside the box to remove the blocks at the bottom of the inverter. If there are unused holes, then they have to be filled with the screws and blocks. Close and secure the box. Please ensure that the ambient temperature ranges from -13 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit -25 to 60 degrees Celsius, and that the operational altitude does not exceed 2000 meters. Place the inverter on a well-shaded site to proof the direct sunlight, rain and snow, etc. Mount the inverter on the wall at an angle of 75-90 degrees to the ground, at a height where the display screen is at eye level. For parallel system, please maintain the minimum clearances presented below for adequate heat dissipation.
Ensure that you have the following tools with you. The inverter is a wall mounting type. 2 or more persons may be needed to install the inverter due to its weight. Place the mounting bracket upright.
The bottom of the bracket should be 2.5 inches higher than the eyesight level.
The slots on the mounting bracket can accommodate various stud spacings, ranging from 12 inches, 305 mm, to 16 inches, 406 mm. Mark the drill holes positions with the mounting bracket,
then drill 4 8 mm 5/16 inch diameter holes.
Making sure the depth of the holes is deeper than 50 mm, 2 inches. Install and tighten the expansion bolts into the holes. Then, use the corresponding nuts and washers, packaged together with the expansion bolts, to attach and secure the wall mounting bracket to the wall. Hang the inverter onto the wall mounting bracket and lock the inverter on the wall using 2 self-tapping screws on the top of the inverter. Lock the safety screws on the left and right sides.
Before wiring, if you prefer to initiate the RSD at a distance from the inverter, use a screwdriver to remove the notification wire and connect your externally required RSD. Otherwise, please note that this wire must remain connected.
Refer to the sheet for adequate cable selection. Please double-check the lowest ambient temperature of the installation location.
Strip off from 1/4 to 5/16 inch 6 to 8 mm insulation on the PV strings, positive and negative conductors.
Use wire ferrules for PV string conductors if they are stranded wire type. Insert the conduit fitting into the opening for PV connection and tighten it from the inside using the counter nut. Route the PV conductors through the conduit fitting and into the inverter. Secure the cable gland in place. Ensure that the cables are connected correctly and securely. Then take appropriate measures to ensure that the conduit and conduit fittings are fastened reliably, and seal the cable entry holes.
The inverters have 3 MPPTs.
For MPPT1, users can connect 2 strings. For MPPT2 and MPPT3, users can only connect 1 string for each. 2. When users connect 2 strings to MPPT1, make sure the 2 strings have the same quantity of solar panels.
The inverter will limit the total MPPT1, MPPT2, MPPT3 input current to 25A, 15A, 15A automatically.
3. The inverter will limit the max solar input power to 18 kilowatts total. A sheet following shows the adequate power cable. Warning: put the built-in battery breaker in the off position before connecting or disconnecting batteries.
Step 1. Strip from 1/4 to 5/16 inch 6 to 8 mm.
Insulation from the cable end and crimp tube terminal for the cable ends. Step 2. Route the battery power cable, connect positive to bat plus, negative to bat dash.
Unfasten the built-in hex socket screws using the hex keys until the cable's conduit could be inserted.
Step 4.
Fasten the screws of battery positive and negative cables to the lugs according to the markings.
Step 5.
Secure the screws. Step 6. Plug in the battery communication cable.
If your generator supports dry contact connections, there will be the following connection operation.
Remove the plastic cover on the gen port L1 and L2. The generator start signal shall be connected to the COM board gen nominal open or nominal close port if users want to start generator remotely. Connect to the dry contact terminal for remote start. Unfasten the built-in hex socket screws using the hex keys
Until the cable's conduit could be inserted.
Insert the cable and fasten the hex socket screws
Using the hex keys until the cable's conduit could be inserted.
Note: the generator should be neutral bonded type, with 240 volts or 120 volts output, and at the same time, generator capacity should be larger than 6 kilowatts.
A sheet following shows the cable requirement.
Step 1. Strip off from 5/16 to 3/8 inch 8 to 10 mm insulation sleeve on the cables.
Use wire ferrules if the cables are made of fine-stranded wires.
Unfasten the built-in hex socket screws using the hex keys until the cable conduit could be inserted.
Fasten the grid and EPS load cables to the terminal block in accordance with the markings. Check that the cables are connected correctly and securely, then take appropriate measures to ensure that the conduit and conduit fitting are secured reliably, and seal the cable entry holes.
The arrow on the CT should be pointing to the inverter. Step 1. Clamp the two CTs on the L1 and L2 wires. CT1 should go to L1 and CT2 should go to L2. If this inverter system is merely a segment of the power system, and if there is additional load, then the CT must be connected on the grid side. Warning: please double-check the polarity before turning on the inverter. Step 2. Plug the RJ45 cable into the port. All the wiring complete. Dongle connection. Please refer to the dongle user manual for Wi-Fi connection. Turn on all the breakers, then you are all set. The LXP-12K features a 200A bypass current,
providing backup power for the entire house and allowing you to connect all essential loads.
After the wiring, you will be able to set the inverter on LCD. A working overview as below shows a normal working status.